Caolan, good to have you on the podcast. It's been a while in the organisation. So we're sitting in Ross Trevor here now. This is your club. You weren't actually playing for them this year. What was going on there? How come you weren't playing for them?
Well, I was playing league, but I decided to take my options for championship elsewhere and went to London just for something different. It was a good experience. There were a lot of boys from down that playing that team, so it was a good crack at the time. But looking to the future, I probably wouldn't do it again because I was travelling over and just playing at the weekends and maybe having a session on a Friday. You sort of can't get that bond between the players, so it was sort of hard to get used to how people played. But look, it was enjoyable. It was something different. And
yeah, you checked it off. What was the standard like in London?
It wasn't bad, yeah. There's a lot of people from here who are playing over there, and there's ex-county players that are sort of shaping other teams up. And look, the way football's coming now, it's all about structure, and you can play within a structure. You're not going to be half bad.
So you were playing in London. What was it like playing with Jim Clark? Did you just kind of read up, or was it harder than you maybe thought? Or
yeah, well, it was a lot harder than I actually expected. But every team was a couple of decent athletes, so yeah. The quickest player was sort of me, and then Jamie was being manhandled by probably one of their more physical players. So it's similar to what you get here, but at times you see how what people talk about him, like his ability to get space and his shooting. It was second to none, and he's a great fellow. I didn't really know him before going, but after experiencing the summer with him, he's a great lad. Yeah.
Was it not a bit of a hammering kind of going over and back every weekend, or did you kind of get used to it?
I wasn't even over every weekend, so there was weekends I was just playing club here for Scarborough and then training, and then I think I only played 7 or 8 games in London, so it was a hassle because you're finishing work on a Friday and you're going straight to the airport to fly there, and you're maybe doing a session and you're sitting about twiddling your thumbs all Saturday and then just playing on Sunday to fly home, so you weren't really seeing your weekends. And look, the crack was good, but it is a bit of a hassle if you're actually not over there.
Yeah, but at least it's one of them ones you've done it, and you know what it's like for kind of future years. But I would imagine if you're over in London, it would probably be a good crack. Like if you've never, if you're new in London, it would be such a great way to actually meet people and get in with that.
Yeah, I went into London with the missus, so I checked that off.
It's the main thing. What did you make a down season last year?
I say the league was disappointing because going into the last game it was in our hands to get promoted, and we didn't perform on the day, and rightfully so. We didn't get promoted. I think we lost out by a point in score difference, which there's a couple of games looking back that there's pot shots or boys that slid the ball for goal, and so it's literally just the small things that sort of kept us in Division 3. But then we went into the championship. I don't really want to talk about the Armagh game, so I get sent off. But the second half, the boys, it brought our team bond together because everyone stood up and fought right to the end. I know Armagh tipped us at the end in extra time, but the bond going into training for the qualifier game was excellent, and the Tipperary game sort of shown that everyone stood up and was counted. And again, Mayo, we fought as well as we could. The only difference in that day was they were more efficient in front of the net, and we were very wasteful. So we weren't outplayed, we were just beat by a more efficient team.
Yeah, you would think that would give us momentum for the next kind of year as well, going forward too.
Yeah, we're looking forward to probably getting back at it, especially with Tally getting his second year now, so he's seen the talent in down, and he knows how he wants people to play and what he has available to him, so it's exciting to see what he's going to bring to the table.
And you worked with him last year then, and what the sort of difference I think he maybe brought in that hadn't been there in previous years, or was it just a case of a different sort of management? Like?
Yeah, it's just a different approach. Paddy had been with down when they got to the All-Ireland final in 2010, so we knew he would leave no stone unturned, and his team that he brought in with him, Gavin McGilly and Stephen Beattie and Benny, who's walked away now, was a good blend because they all took part in different things in training, so it was a good sort of structure towards to something that was there but not as efficient as what they had made it last year. So no, it was exciting. Like a new coach, a lot of new boys, and a lot lot of young boys, which is good. But I'm 26 now, I'm pushing on, I'm starting to look towards the end of my career, then boys are thinking it's never going to end, so it's good to have that mix.
Yeah. I think I would imagine you need that mix cycle to use coming through to kind of keep you on your toes as well. Like.
Exactly, and the young boys are sort of looking to the more experienced boys to push them on, so you can't be off your game because they're going to watch what you're doing and sort of think that's the norm.
Does it make you feel a little bit bad that you're going to call yourself one of the experienced players, or?
Not really, like I did make my debut in 2011, like, so I've been about the block.
Yeah. Whenever you, like, obviously played minors for Down and then you went away for a couple of years, how did it feel coming back playing for them?
Strange.
Yes.
It took me 2 years. The 2015 season and 16 took me to get really adjusted back into Gaelic, and I've seen like Daniel Flynn and Kildare said the same. So people are thinking that you're playing professional, so the easy swap, but I think Gaelic's more speed endurance, whereas AFL is more just endurance based.
Yeah.
So it took a while to get adjusted to that.
So the speed of the game maybe took you a bit of time to get up to?
Yeah, it changed since I left in 2011, not much.
Did you notice a big difference then?
Yeah, I was coming home in off season and trying to play for the under 21s here, thinking I'd be fit, blowing out my arse after about 10 minutes. Jesus.
That's strange, like you would not think that, like.
Yeah, well, the AFL is structured to they have certain, like you might be on the pitch 78 minutes, then you're off for a spell, and then you're getting your break. So Gaelic, that's just unrelenting the way Gaelic football, turnover after turnover, you're just running up and down like a madman.
It's interesting to hear that, because you would assume that AFL is on a higher level, but it's maybe just an example that it's obviously it's professional, but it's just a different style, like, and one isn't really easier than one isn't easier or harder than the other, like.
Well, now Gaelic, I would say, is probably more intense in terms of you're 35 minutes flat out, you have a break, then you're flat out again, whereas AFL, you're getting your sort of breaks in between during the game, and then you have your 4 quarters as well.
Yeah. So. Did you notice the physicality changing much from when you left? Did you find that this players were investing a bit more in gym stuff?
I think now, when I left in 2011, the likes of Benny and that were killing it because they were naturally gifted footballers. Now, if someone's strong and fit and athletic, you don't really need as much skill, which is sort of it's more the norm now. If you're fit and strong, that you're able to make it.
Yeah, I think sometimes maybe teams want maybe players to do certain numbers in the pitch, and if you can cover X ground and you're not completely terrible on the ball, you can do a job, like.
Yeah, it's pretty much the way it's going.
Which is, I don't know, maybe that's a bit like AFL to an extent too, if you don't have the physical capabilities, then you're really looking for a physical specimen first, and then you can sort of put the skill on top of that, like.
Pretty much, yeah, that's the way it's going, especially as the advanced mark coming in.
It's kind of turning into AFL, isn't it? Like?
It's AFL without the money.
It's an interesting concept. Do you think that advanced mark will be a good thing or a bad thing? Or?
So I've seen people put on Twitter, like it's going to take the skill of the game of, like, you might have an underage player of maybe just under 5 foot and he's a real skillful athletic player, and you might have a player who's a lot taller and just scoops the ball in top of him, and he's marking someone that's maybe half a foot smaller than him, and it's going to take that sort of aspect of the game out. But it's hard to know. I didn't actually mind it when I played it in the National League, but when you knew it wasn't going to be in permanently, you thought it was dead on. But I can see where people are coming from. It couldn't slow the game down.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. I mean, it's given it the year to see how it goes. Like, it's hard to make a judgment without seeing enough of it. Like, a few National League games probably isn't enough.
I like that the Sindon. I don't believe the backyard you have to run off, but you get backyard after 2 minutes and your game's over. So I think that's a decent turnaround for the 10 minutes spell off.
Tier 2?
Not for me.
Not for you?
No.
How come?
Well, we as a playing group, Kevin McKernan's our player rep, and he put in who's in favour, who's not, and give reasons, and we all said we're not because we have ambitions to push on. And look, if you're afraid of getting hammered by Dublin or say one of the big teams, sure, what's the point in playing? If you want to improve, every playing against the best. Yeah. And I'm getting it here on Twitter from people saying, look what it's done for hurling and all that. I'm just like, but you're playing against Division 3 teams in the league, and then you're only going to be out of Division 4. So if you're beating Division 3 teams and you're playing against Division 4, if you move up the year after, where's your improvement going to come? Because you're playing a standard that's not as high as what the other guys are playing.
Do you feel like it wouldn't be as the word? Like it wouldn't be as publicised well enough. You know, do you just think it wouldn't maybe get the hype as well? It maybe would need to make it successful.
I know the GA's like, oh, we'll publicise it, not, but like, what supporters are going to buy into it?
Yeah. I think it's one of them ones where if a team wins it, you know, like obviously Derry could potentially be playing on it, like, and you don't doing it, but at the same point you wouldn't be anywhere close to the same feeling of if they won All Ireland, or even if you got to the semi-final or final, like. But I don't know, maybe that's better than them going out after first round championship or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see where the GA is coming from in terms of, look, it's given teams that extra couple of games, but
I'm sure the GA are like in the money aspect of it too. Like.
No, I can't say much about that.
I would say that was a slight factor in it.
I'd say all county board secretaries were looking their lips for a few extra pounds.
I would say so. I would say so. What sort of, like, you've obviously come from doing a lot of work strength conditioning wise over there in the AFL. Have you been doing a lot since you come back, or did you kind of sicken yourself with it when you were over there? Or?
No, it's one thing I've always enjoyed is the gym aspect of training, because you can do it by yourself. You just throw headphones in and you just bang out a workout, and you feel good for it. No, it's one thing I know the benefits of and the importance of it. When I came back in 2015, I was out of shape and maybe wasn't doing as much as what I was, and I was having hamstring difficulties, and then I went away and just religiously I've been working away at it, and touch wood here. I don't get any injuries because it's something I don't go without.
Yeah. I suppose as well, coming back from AFL and you jump into what is pretty much a very different game to when you left, like your chance of injury is up so much because you're probably used to doing just the constant stuff every week, and then you go into something completely different, and it's just such a big shock to your body too, like.
With the aspect of when we were there, you're training, you're coming in, you're getting massages, and then you're into the recovery suite, which was your hot bath, your ice bath, and then your pool. Whereas Gaelic, you've an ice bath.
Yeah.
So it's not really publicised as well. I suppose it comes down to the financial aspect, like teams and counties. I know people are now getting their centre of excellence, which put a lot in it, but it does cost a pretty penny to sort of run there.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if you agree or disagree, like really, AFL and Gaelic, there's probably not a massive difference. What the big difference is the fact that when you're AFL, you get all those recovery methods, you get the good food, you get everything, whereas if you're a Gaelic player, probably the majority of teams are still doing maybe, I don't know, 3-4 plus sessions a week. Then you're going and doing you get the 9-hour job and every day, like that's probably where the difference is.
Yeah, well, athletically with Gaelic and AFL there's no difference. It used to be the difference was the physicality when international rules, the Australians came over and bullied the Irish. So now that the athletically Gaelic is becoming more physical, that's taken out of that game. And I know that the Gaelic, the last one, the Dublin players weren't involved, so Aussies just about took the Irish. But if Ireland sent their test 15 over, I'd give it to the Aussies, and it sort of takes them a thing or two.
I think you noticed that in the last one, physically there was not any real difference, whereas a couple of years before it got banned for a couple of years.
Before, wasn't it?
Still the videos on YouTube of that they recall today. I love the one where McGeaney is standing beside the boy and just hits him a rib shot and he just goes down like that.
At that stage he was probably the most physical Irish player, and I think it was Graham Garrity from Meath. Because they lectured off. So it wasn't much to the gooch, like, so they were picking their targets right.
I'd say that would have been a horrible experience if you weren't like, if you weren't used to that at all and you had no kind of physicality, so it would have been tough. Like.
Yeah, well, in Australia, when I was there, it was your conditioning on a lighter day was boxing, and you had to learn how to protect yourself.
I thought it was good for the fitness aspect. So what was kind of the schedule whenever you were over there in the AFL? Like, what would a week look like?
Pre-season was 5 days a week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday would have been your big days, so you're talking maybe 15-16 kilometre sessions.
Horrible.
In 35-degree heat.
That's really cool.
And then Tuesday would have been like your off-field conditioning, your boxing, just a bit of circuits, and then Thursday day off, so would have went golfing. And then a Saturday we went to the beach and done like maybe a 6 or 7k run with a few hill sprints in between, and then Sunday off. That was recover from hangover.
How did your body cope with that? Like never doing anything really probably with that volume before? You know, how did it cope in the first while?
Initially, yeah, you were sort of eased into it because they knew if you put too much on you, your body would feel. So it was sort of maybe a week of it anyway, and then you're just left to your own devices. And I was there for 3 weeks, and then we went to Arizona to the high altitude, which was a culture shock. We jogged to the pitch where we were training. It was an indoor stadium, but it was a 2k run. I was blown out my arse, and they're like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I can't breathe." And they're like, "Well, that's the altitude." So that was a culture shock then going into the 16-kilometer session. So it was a culture shock. But
Yeah.
one of the things that's probably the hardest thing I've ever done was we hiked down the Grand Canyon and had to run back up it. It's 7k vertical straight up, so you're zigzagging across that. My legs were sore for about 5 days after, but you had a day off and then you're back into 16 or 17 kilometer sessions.
I was going to say there whenever you mentioned altitude, I was in Grand Canyon a year or two ago, and we were walking about it, and I was only walking about, and I was like getting out of breath, and like I would be in good shape, and I was like, what the fuck's happening here? I've like lost that much fitness in a week or two, and then I realised that we were in altitude. I'm not sure what it is, but running through it in the heat would be horrible.
It was weird. At the top it was snowing, and then as you got to the bottom it was roasting, and then again coming back up. It was actually nice when you got back to the top because you're coming out of the heat into the cold. But yeah, I think my time was 4 hours and 37 minutes in terms of hiking down and getting back up. Or was it 4 or 2? I can't remember, but it was something.
That's tight enough.
And the boy beat me by 20 minutes, so he was sort of fit.
Different level there, they are really just endurance machines, like, aren't they?
Yeah.
What would your week look like now compared to that?
Well, when Darren starts, you're talking 3 group sessions, and then I'd still branch off and do a couple of gym sessions. So you're probably talking maybe 5 to 6 times a week of doing stuff.
And would the 3 sessions you have down, would they be all pitch based, or would they be 1 or 2 gym, or what would you say?
I'm not sure what the structure would be. Maybe 2 gym, 1 pitch, or 2 pitch, 1 gym. But if you'd only do 1 gym and 2 pitch, then you'd have to do a session away from by yourself.
Your kind of big strength would probably be your speed, would you say? Are you kind of at the point where you're like, I'm fast enough, I don't need to do anything on it, or are you still trying to improve it? And if you are, what are you kind of doing for it?
I can never. Once you're in sport, you're competitive your whole life, so it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If it's something to do with speed, I want to win. So I went down to Martin Bennett's speed maybe about a month ago, and I was expecting to have to do certain drills or that, but it was basically running mechanics, and he just showed me techniques, and he watched me for a run, and he says I was leaving my feet behind me, which was strange, but you could hear it when you seen it back. He was just showing me drills of just keep your knees up, keep your body forward, and just keep, so you're sort of changing in the air of your feet. I sort of look at athletes sprinting, like I could do that, but then without proper training you probably couldn't. So I've sort of taken that away, and I'm just doing your basic stuff in the gym, just doing a lot more explosive stuff, like trap bar jumps, CMJs, and then I always do my glute work with the bands, and then when I'm at down, if we do any sprinting, I do it to max capacity, because you're not going full speed enough, you're not going to improve it.
Definitely. I think that part you're saying about sprint mechanics, like, it's amazing. It's only kind of whenever you maybe look into mechanics that you realise that nobody within Gaelic can run properly. And we've never been taught it before. It's only if you do athletics that you're probably taught how to run, but it's amazing how we really don't know how to run. But I was thinking something actually last night for first session, we're going through some running mechanics, just some basic ones, and you can tell that it's so foreign to do them the right way, because we've been so used to doing it the wrong way, and it is something where I think if people can learn a couple of main mechanics or get into doing it, you can make a big improvement in your performance, definitely your sprinting.
Absolutely, because the way he put it is, if you're not running right, you're putting stress on muscles that don't need to be as stressed. So I was doing 60-meter efforts, and usually if you're doing that thing, you're feeling your hamstrings or quads, but I was feeling it more in my calves because I was up on my toes. so I'm not actually putting as much pressure through my hamstrings and quads. So it opened my eyes, and I've been sort of trying to keep at it.
That's interesting because like I've been to a few seminars with different like speed coaches the past couple of months, and one of the things which I probably never really realised before was how your mechanics can affect your likelihood of getting injured. Like your running stride, you know, if you're overstriding, if your hips are too far back or too far forward, it can affect how much you're stretching the hamstring. And then when you hear it, you're like, that actually makes sense, and you start to think about lads that you know that always get hamstring injuries, but they're pretty strong and they do a lot of training. You can't really work it out, and you're like, maybe it's the mechanics is the thing that's actually messing you up. Like, so do you think it's an important thing to try and look at doing if you're in Gaelic, you know, like?
Yeah, well, I've noticed last year with our S&C coach coming in, he's starting to get us into a lot more mechanically based running, so just to try and prevent injury. Like we sort of were last year, like, what's this shit?
Yeah, it is definitely like that too, because it's so weird the first time doing it.
It's such a backwards country. Like if someone tried to bring someone new, they're like, what's this shit? I don't know.
It takes a couple of people takes a couple of leaders to do it, and then like, oh, maybe that is actually a good thing. But I think that's even the thing with strength conditioning in general. You know, probably going back, say before you left the AFL, it was still probably like 50-50. Should you be doing this? Should you not be doing this?
And right left Tally was actually on taking over like the running side, and then he was taking the gym session too. Like, so it shows you how advanced it's actually come on since then.
Like every team now will have a strength conditioning coach, and would be a good strength conditioning coach too. You know, I'd imagine back a couple of years ago, just whoever the local person was around probably would have done it, and they would have done.
You done weight size,
it was what you would have done. Like, I think back to us, like we would have been doing like kettlebell classes and stuff, like, and not even like properly doing kettlebells. Just and you think back, like, what the fuck were we doing then?
Yeah.
But there was just so little information on it. Like, it's interesting to see how it moves on. Like, would you say that your, like, you know, the stew endurance was something that you need to work on when you were in AFL, or was other people's levels so high that you maybe found it tough? Or?
Yeah, well, there was always your freak athletes that could run all day. Morty Clark was one of them at our club, street side bottom back to back, so it was always sort of spiced up, and the S&C coaches were second to none. Like your gym sessions were never repetitive, there was always something different. And then the lifestyle, compared to here, it came like this, a lot of trying different foods, so the spread of foods over there was ridiculous, whereas if I'm in Strava, I get either a Chinese or a chippy, like, so
options are limited. Whereabouts then is that in Australia? Like
I was in
Melbourne?
Yeah.
And obviously probably went on Irish over there as well, did there, or not as much?
Well, there was a ton, but I was 18, like, so the boys over there were closer to Morty's age of 24 and 25, like, so the gap for me was I still had practice and all, like, but it just didn't feel the same for me.
You just kind of a couple of years maybe off that, like.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of boys there now that would be my run of age, like, but I don't know if I could be a good or not thing.
Yeah. Do you ever think, like, I know a lot of people now are going out to Australia and moving, especially from Ireland and wee rural areas, is it, you know, is one of the things is the grass greener on the other side, you think, a lot of times, or is it a personal thing that you really?
I think it's how you make it. Like, a lot of Irish, like, the opportunities over there are a lot more than what you're getting here, but Irish being Irish, they stay amongst themselves. So, like, in Melbourne, it was called Fitzroy Street, which we refer to as the Irish Street, because that's just all the Irish are. And if you ask them to go to the city, they're a bit, oh geez, I don't want to go in there because I'm not used to it, I don't know.
It's change.
Exactly. that is actually fair. I'm afraid of change.
Yeah. That's it. Like, I know a lot of ones even from kind of local area went over, and there's some people that really enjoy it, and other people that I think maybe it is that sort of case of grass screening on our side, but probably never know until they try it, like,
Yeah, that's true.
Are you happy to be home now?
Me? Yes and no. Looking back, I probably shouldn't have left when I did leave. I walked away from another year in the contract, and I came home yesterday and did interview saying I hated it, this, that and the other, but I was young, immature and in denial. Because now, as the things sort of moved on, as I'm getting a bit more mature, and like looking back, I've sort of let one go there. I should have seen it out and let it go as long as possible. But yes, I'm still happy to be back and I enjoy playing Gaelic football. I'm happy to be close to my family and look, it's a great place we live, but there's just more to do over there.
Yeah, and like there's a combination of the lifestyle as well. Like it's the same. The area I'm from is it's a great area, and like I love playing football and have the gym and all, but we have a shop, we have a bakery.
I know.
And I said like
over there, you're walking down the street, you can have Asian food, or there's Mexican, or the Italian, or Spanish.
Yeah.
It'd be a while before I see that person around ever.
Like would that be a regret then leaving a wee bit earlier, or do you
yeah,
think maybe that's just you saying that now because you've a wee bit more time to
no, I did. Well, I could probably be me saying it now, but looking back, I regret it. But at the time, I didn't because I was young, immature, and just sort of, I'll be alright, I'll get home and get everything back on track. And it didn't work out like that. So yeah, there's sort of regret, and you don't know what could have happened. You might have made it after that year. So look,
would you regret it or not go in the first place? You know, like if you turned back at the Escalators at Dublin, you know, do you think you would have had the same feelings now, or do you think things would be a lot different?
I think it would have been different in that stage because I wouldn't have actually been over to experience it.
Yeah.
So I think if I had a turned then, I wouldn't even think.
You got the taste for it, kind of.
Exactly. So I think looking back now, yes, I probably should have seen it out and just seen where it actually could have went to.
Yeah. Well, I suppose one of the ones you never know what way it could have went either. Like,
but I think they're plucking players a lot that are too young too. I think that coming straight out of school to having no life experience, to be dropped into a different country and sort of fend for yourself. Like you're at the club and they're looking after you, but there's times you're away from the club too, so you have to fend for yourself. I think they need to give players 20, maybe a couple of years, even go out to the Holy Lands just to experience being out on their own.
I think so. And then as well, like I don't know if maybe this talked about too much, but I'm sure whenever you were over there in the first couple of years, you were getting fairly well compensated. And going from being in school to like getting that there big change of you're now in a new place, you're getting a bit of money, like it's a lot to take on board. And like what age? 18, 19?
I was 18.
18, like it's a big change.
Yeah, it was a culture shock. Like I think it was in Arizona when I first got my first paycheck and bouncing about the room.
Can I buy it here?
Is it in the morning? Like, is this going to be the norm? Is this what I'm going to get every month? And I was like, yeah. So it was exciting, but I think by the third year, that sort of excitement wore off. And I was like, I just want to play football and I don't feel like I'm getting a furlough. But I think that was me being immature and eager and probably getting a bit ahead of myself. Thinking I should be here and should be doing this, but maybe they were trying to coach me in a lot easier than what they were. But the immaturity came out and I just said, fuck this, I'm going home.
Yeah, that's where maybe another year or two in here probably could have come in. But whenever you came back, did you find like it set you back a lot in terms of other aspects of life, like work or friends and stuff? Like did you miss a lot from being away, or did you really slot back in?
No, Jesus, it took me time. Like I say, I did say I kept my work up in school, but I didn't get my qualifications. So that sort of set me back, and then just sort of getting back into that way of life. It took me the 2 years as well.
A bit slower, kind of?
Yeah, so that sort of set me back. 2015 was just sort of hoping I would get a job and things would be sorted. I was at university and I just pissed off against the wall because I was still thinking I was over there and making money like I was and spending it like I was, but unfortunately the bank balance didn't reflect that.
It tends to happen now. And did you find whenever you came back you had pressure, whenever you went back to play and stuff, people were saying like you're a professional athlete, like, or did you not really feel that?
Look, yeah, that expectation people were saying it to you, but look, it did affect me in a way, but in terms of it was going to take me time to adjust, but I think people were just expecting it to happen just like that, so I think that's just this country as well. He's refreshing, he'll be flying when he comes back, like it's going to be nothing to him. It doesn't work.
I think a good example is big Walsh for Kerry. Like he's really only kind of coming back really this year, like, the year before.
Mm-hmm.
But he was over, what club was he at again? Was it Swans?
Was it St Kilda and then he went to Sydney?
It seemed like it took him a long time to sort of get back into the swing of things, but at this point in things, people just expect you to come back and be bigger and better, and it's probably not the case.
I think for Tommy, he went over there big, and then they sort of toned him back a bit, and then he started having a lot of hamstring issues, and then it's good to see him back in because when he left, he was probably one of the best winger players at that stage, and so it's good to see him come back. But I think people could look at that and say, you're going to go there and then you're going to come back. It's going to take you a couple of years to adapt, so do you really want to miss that? So that any young fella that's going to get offered money to play it's going to be hard to say no.
Definitely. And I think you always think that, you could listen to all the advice in the world, but it's just a natural thing where you'll think you're a unique situation and it'll always be different. Yeah. Even if 100 people told you it differently, you think, I don't know, it might work out.
It might work out for me.
And do you think, any possibility of getting back out there if you had a chance? Like, would you go or?
Look, I'm gonna go to the combine in December, I think it is, and there's a chance my arm. Adelaide Pros are looking for a mature age player. Scott Henry were the three that were always contesting the 2K time trials in the pre-season, where I was cruising near mid to back, but because I was quick, they were like, we can build endurance with your speeds, just something that probably we can't build. So if you have it, we're happy enough, but if your endurance is lacking, we can get you fitter. So that was our attitude towards me.
Do you think now you would be in better shape than what you would have been back then?
I think so, because I think I went there and I'd never lived on my own, so I was sort of just eating comfort foods. So I think I didn't really buy into the nutritional side. I think it's probably where I lack now. I think I'm doing everything else right. I think it's just nutrition and probably alcohol.
Yeah, that's
my negative part of my game at the minute. So I think I'll try and start to sort of really focus on that, and I'll see if it can really maybe lift me up 1 or 2% more.
I do think there's an element of balance too, though. Like, because if you go, I think you have to. I think it's sometimes Gaelic players maybe forget about that. You have to have balance. If you don't have the point where you can go out and have a bit of crack and have a drink, that's probably a detrimental thing too. Like, you need to have that kind of balance in it too.
Even in Australia, like if it was a 7-day turnaround, there was no issues in having beer. But if it was 6 days, it was a strict no drinking. Yeah. So I'll turn that off.
That's okay.
So like Gaelic, you're being put on drink plans for like 6 weeks before a game.
That's mental, like.
I remember down going to Mrs. Soul, him and Burns, we were down at a training game a couple of weeks after when he played Armagh, and he goes, the lads, you can have a couple of pints, it's not many kids, so I was good on crack, like, so.
I think you know your body too, like, most people know that if you, like, there's some people who get a 2 or 3 day hangover, other people will wake up the next day and you feel great, and you just have to have that probably ownership, right, if it's 2 weeks out, I might lose 3 or 4 days of hangover, or else I'll be alright tomorrow morning, and you can't be mothered and told you do this and do that, like, it's a wee bit ridiculous to an extent.
2 weeks out, I would probably not, because it does sort of affect your sessions, and it's a knock-on effect, because the Monday session you're lethargic, and then Wednesday you're just about feeling right. Since by the weekend you're back to normal, and by that stage you're coming into sort of your later week, because so you want to get the benefit out of the last sort of heavy week before the championship. So I probably want to go 2 weeks, but 3 weeks probably.
It's balance and it's figuring it out, like, but there's no point in doing absolutely nothing.
Don't want to be robots.
That's it, like, that's it. So, whenever you got signed for the AFL, talk to me about that. Like, how did that all happen? You'd had a couple of good years in school, you won the Corey and the Hogan, and
I was signed before that.
Before that?
Yeah, well, I was in talks with him before that. It was actually 2009. I was playing for the Down Miners. I was at 16. I was in midfield, and one of the scouts was at our Fermanagh game, I think it was. And he sort of kept his eye on me, and then that sort of went. We got to the All-Ireland semi-final that year. We beat Big Mayo, and I was still in St. Mark's at one point. It was a secondary school, and then the college wanted me after sort of playing for their minors, and I was in school for like a week or two, and then I was like, I'm gonna go to the college. Like my aunts were like, you're not gonna do any work. I was like, oh well, I promise I'm gonna do more work. Blah, blah, blah. So I got there, and then I started playing McCrory, and then I think it was around November. I got this phone call, and it sounded like an English accent, but it was an Aussie accent. So I thought this was O2, so I hung up.
I make them want you more.
Exactly. And then he rang me back, and I hung up again. And I goes, "Is this about my new phone?" And he goes, "Oh no, completely different." I was like, "All right, sorry." And he rang me, and he says, "I'm working for Caolan Mooney football club from Australia, and I'm over here scouting, and I've been watching for about 4 or 5 months now, and I'm keen to meet up for a chat." And then it all sort of came from there. And then the head of recruitment came over for the McCrory semi-final in 2010 to play at the academy in Ghana, and I didn't really do much, but he seen what he wanted to see in terms of a few jumps and a few runs. He was happy enough, and then we went for dinner the next night, and he goes, "We're going to invite you for a trial," and we went for a 4-week trial in June. We got beat by Tyrone in the Ulster semi-final 2010, and then I flew out the Wednesday after for 4 weeks. But my father came for 10 days, but they told him after 10 days that I was going to be signed, so I didn't know this. And then they told me just before I left that I'd signed a 2-year deal, so I was coming back into school in 2011, no one was coming to study, so
What was that like?
I kept the schoolwork up, so I did.
I can imagine. Was it like excited or really scared at that point, or what was the kind of feelings?
I think at that point it was more excitement because it was so far away, and then as it sort of got closer and closer, and down to big boy Armagh, it sort of hit me after, and I was like, fuck, I could be going here next week. And then lucky enough, James rang me and goes, "Want you to come into the senior setup?" I was like, "Yes, sweet."
Yeah.
So then I went, they got beat in the qualifiers by Cork, and then a couple of weeks later I was asked to come over, and then that got delayed again because then Marty Clark agreed signs, and then me and Marty flew out together. So it wasn't actually too bad when I went because I had him there. So, but still, I was put into the real world, and when people here go from school to the Holy Lands, it's a completely different kind of fish. You can't just get a 240 back in your area to get down the road to the house.
No, that must have been such a big jump for you. Like you're going from, that was really a 0 to 100 kind of move there. Like
Pretty much, yeah. I remember getting to the airport and saying the goodbyes, and there's a couple of tears in her eyes, and I got up on top of the escalator at Dublin Airport, and I was like, fuck, I really want to go here.
Yeah.
And I sort of had talks, I'm like, fuck, just go. And then I just walked on. So I had that split second of, and then I
a
just
wee bit of doubt.
had to go.
And like at the time, was you thinking, I want to go and make a career here, or was you thinking to go for a year or two, try it out, or?
Yeah, it was the aim to sort of make the career of it. I was like, get paid to play sport, this is what you want to be at. So, yeah, the first year was great initially. It's all the excitement getting you through, and then once the games you're playing in the twos, and then I get kicked, I think it was 5th or 6th day for a VFL game, I kicked 5 goals. And
Yeah.
then I got pulled into the seniors, but I was only pulled on as a sub, so I got to play the last quarter. It was great to get out there and get playing, but my whole career I played 6 games, and 5 of them were as a sub, so I thought I was getting a hard time of it, and I should have played a lot more than what I actually got, because we had development coaches, and he was saying, like, I don't know what else you can do to be starting, because you're doing more than what the boys in the FL are doing, so it just didn't pan out. But
Yeah, you think just sometimes, like maybe if a different manager had been in, or if different things had been, or if you had been in a different club, you know, it could have maybe been a different story.
I think that the Irish was still sort of raw. Like initially when I was there, it was like Marty Clark and Piers Hanley and Zach Taylor, your sort of big names, whereas now it's becoming more frequent. Now you have Conor McKenna, Conor Glass. What do you call your guy who's playing for Geelong?
The boy Mark, is it
Mark O'Connor, is it?
Mark O'Connor from
Yeah,
Kerry,
he's coming now too, and then there's a couple of guys at Collingwood as well. Toka,
big
is it?
Anthony Wilson, Alton, he's there.
Yeah, he's there, and then there's another guy.
And then Callum's up at TWS, there's a whole squad of boys.
There's a lot of boys now, and I think they're starting to buy into what Irish bring. It's a uniqueness to their game, because the skill levels to play Gaelic is more than what's needed in the AFL. So I think they're starting to reap the rewards of Irish player actually coming over. So yeah, I think I get signed with McMuppets who love Marty as an Irish player, and Marty played 46 games under him. So sometimes it can just be the rub of the green. The coach just might not like what you're bringing to the table. So look, I got a hard time with there, but it's life.
Yeah. Like obviously that was an enjoyable part of it. What was the kind of enjoyable parts of being over there? And you know, was it the lifestyle? Did you enjoy the training every day?
Yeah, the training was class and it was something different. Very rarely you're in the same sort of session. So that's sort of played senior for a couple of years and has sort of flourished in that environment. So I'll go down there and chance my arm. And just at this minute in time, I'm just waiting on a yes or no back from Collingwood in terms to go back there. So
yeah,
who knows?
see what happens.
Yeah.
So barring obviously, you know, that there, the yes or no from that and how the combine goes, have you any other kind of goals moving forward, whether it be, you know, personal or sport wise or anything else, Trevor?
I think it's probably just more me for off the field. Like I said, I'm one of the older players now, so I need to be training the GPA of everything I can get in terms of education and things. So I've done my PT, so I've got that. I'm with aims to probably progress to S&C. I did start down in Southampton temporary, but just for the distance and the commitment with having to work and train, I was just falling behind, so I sort of knocked that down.
Was it once a week or a couple of times a week?
No, it was once a month, but it was just the learnings was put on you like every sort of week. There were slides released, and so there's nights you're not getting up right to 11, and you're like, I even got time for this.
I'm the same, like I'm doing my masters now, and we're only up 1 week a month for like 3 days, but you're sent online modules and stuff to do, and they see if you like leave it 1 week, it just piles up and there's more stuff and more stuff, and it's like I'm sitting with a whole load of stuff to do over the next couple of days, and it's just piles up. So I know what the kind of feeling's like too.
Yeah, so that would be the aim to get into that, because I would still want to be involved in sport even when I'm not able to play.
Yeah. I think we'll finish up with a wee quick fire round. So I do this with all the ones that have come on so far. So just a couple of wee simple enough questions.
Should I start with
Best GAA moment, or I'll even say best moment in sport?
Probably the second Open 2011.
Yeah. Any reason why?
It was never done by our school, and it was done with a lot of boys that I built a big friendship up with over the 2 years I was in college.
Worst GAA moment?
Losing to Armagh in 2011 in the minor quarter final by 11 points at half time.
I can imagine how we're doing that.
Yeah, it was tough to do.
The best drinking session you've had after winning?
After winning?
Or losing?
I think after the moment it was maybe 4 or 5 days.
Aye.
17, 18, that wasn't bad outspent.
I'd say that in some crack then. No, these didn't go up and do like a session in Hatfield or anything after that there?
Yeah, because by that stage universities, it would have been sort of the end of the year. So
I think this is one, maybe sort of two questions in it. If you were to go back and give yourself advice, what advice would you give? And then what advice would you give then on as a young player or player in general that's either looking to improve and kind of get to the best position you can be in?
I think if we come back now for me, I would say don't rest on your laurels and expect your speed and attributes to get you through, so you work a bit harder, because it did take me a bit of time to get a bit of a work ethic into me. So I would say that to me. But for younger players, I would say it's just a cliche, is listen to your coaches. Like, it doesn't matter where you go in life, you have to listen to your coach. If I don't listen to Paddy, I don't play. So if you listen to your coaches, and if you ever have a free 10 minutes, just get a ball and go down and kick it against the wall, because that's what I did for probably 10 years of my life, just down kicking a ball off a wall, high catching. It's one thing I've noticed, a lot of young boys, even coming into minors, are sort of afraid to go for the high catch, because I don't know, it's just nerve and they're just not used to doing it from a young age. So something so simple as just kick a ball against the wall and just take it at size point.
I think like what I've kind of noticed from chatting with yourself and other lads over the past couple of weeks and months is that there really isn't like any big secrets or like a magic workout or running program that gets you to being at the top level. It's just the wee simple things done consistently well, like, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. It's at the minute inter-county football is about ball retention, and if you're not giving the ball away, then you're obviously going to help your team.
Yeah. That was brilliant, Caolan. Appreciate you taking the time out. We're going to do a wee workout here now, I'll put that up on YouTube, but yeah, thanks for taking the time out.
No bother.